Yo, what's good? It's your boy Trevor David Jones, and as you can see in the title, today we have my top 10 fictional characters. Now, from the theme of the channel, we've got video games, comic books, anime, you know what it's about. But letting you know specifically what my top 10 fictional characters are is gonna let you know a lot about me, without me really having to say anything. So, for the scope of this, we're gonna keep it to video games, comic books, and anime, because, I could venture out into books, into movies, but that kind of takes it beyond the scope, beyond the spirit of this video, so we're gonna keep it to those three categories. And without further ado, let's jump right in. Number 10, Ryu, the World Warrior, the Street Fighter. Yeah, man, I've been deep in the game with Ryu for a long time. Ever since I was exposed to Street Fighter Alpha 2, one of the two games that really sparked my video game interest, that and Final Fantasy VI, I've been a fan of Ryu. He's got the gi, he's got the muscles, he's got the Hadouken. This man here is doing it big. Bless you. And not to mention the Shoryuken, which I consider essentially the strongest move in all of Street Fighter in the game and canon. I mean, he just like sliced Sagat's chest open, like literally with the upward rising punch. Think about that. Yeah, man, Ryu's got it all. And he took himself to another level in my eyes when I played through Street Fighter V and you get to the end, and there are probably gonna be a few spoilers in this video. This man finally defeats M. Bison with the Hadouken that takes his soul out of his body. I'm gonna say that again. He defeats M. Bison with the Hadouken that removed his soul from his body. It didn't even touch his body, but M. Bison is dead. So yeah, I remember playing through that game, literally controller in hand and being like, okay, this dude is actually just on another level. Yeah, Ryu has gotten better and better over time. He's gotten stronger and stronger over time. Now he's rocking like the shawl with the beard. He's just cool. He's gotten even more swole. It's Ryu. So yeah, man, the World Warrior definitely has my pick for the number 10, my number 10 favorite fictional character, period. Number 9, it's kind of, well, let me not say that. Number 9 is Goku. Now, it's easy to forget that there was a time when we didn't know who all these characters were. You know what I mean? It seems so infused in the culture nowadays, which it really is, that it's almost like cliche maybe to say Goku, but it's not. We didn't used to know who Goku was. So when you see him, the orange gi, the blue, the turtle hermit, the muscles, you're like, oh wow, this dude's legit. Kaioken, Kamehameha. Yeah, man. It's crazy because Dragon Ball isn't something I think about every day. Maybe because it's been around so long, maybe because it's just so infused in the popular mindset, but I don't like frequently find myself thinking about Dragon Ball. But making this list, I was like, nah, man. Goku is definitely one of my favorite characters of all time. He's a genius, despite his general behavior. This man figured out every stage of Super Saiyan just through natural instinct and meditation. He figured them out. Come on, man. Yeah, you can't mess with Goku, literally. He fights stronger opponents and keeps getting stronger. Those are the things that people like about him. We know that about him. But Goku's just legit. If everything else was held equal and he was just like a character who could fight, and you didn't know anything else about him, he will legitimately be one of the best of all time. So yeah, Goku has a well-deserved place on my list, my number 9 character of all time. Number 8, okay, now we're getting into comic books a little bit, and we're switching gears, no pun intended. The Flash. Y'all probably didn't expect me to say that. A lot of people don't say the Flash when you're talking about favorite characters. Bless you, you got Superman. You got all these other people. The Flash. Barry Allen, Wally West, I'll take either one of them. The Flash is just an OP character. And strangely enough, as a teen, I recognized the power of the Flash, and you read more and more, and I slowly started realizing how that he's not even really like a human. This dude is literally on a different level. But what really brought him into my mind was the Flash TV show on the CW, which I routinely say is the best thing on Netflix. Take that to the bank. The Flash TV show, the CW TV show that you can watch on Netflix is the best thing on Netflix. It's a great show. Maybe CW's best show, better than Smallville, which was great. But yes, The Flash. His base power is super speed, but he can do this to basically do anything. It's yeah, man. The Flash, and when you get them all together, when they're talking super fast to each other, all the Flash, elements of them being the Flash, just sick. The Flash is legit. I often go back and forth in my mind who's more powerful, him or Superman. I technically know it's Superman, But the Flash is just like, yeah, man, you can't do anything to him. It's like fighting a ghost, but like to the, 100,000 power, but beyond that. So yeah, Barry Allen or Wally West, I'll take them both. But yeah, the Flash, my number 8 fictional character of all time, my favorite fictional character. Number 7, I mentioned him, but now it's time to really get into it. Superman, Kal-El of Krypton, Clark Kent. Yeah, saying Superman is definitely kind of a cliche, but it's also well warranted. When I was younger, still young, when I was a kid, there is no way in heck Superman would have made my list. I just didn't like him that much. He had all these powers, but I didn't really see anything to him. Time kept going on, and in high school, I read several Superman comics that really kind of warmed me up to him. Superman Red Sun, and specifically All-Star Superman, which is one of my favorite comics of all time. Insane. It's a historic comic. I can read it right now. It's in my permanent collection of comics I just have. So All-Star Superman. I was like, okay, Superman's legit. Then Final Crisis, lifting the book with infinite pages. The robot Superman. I had his name for a second. Cosmic Armor Superman. Just more and more ridiculous things. Clark Kent's legit, man. Vast, basically limitless super strength, speed, so on and so forth. He's a great character. Maybe to this day, even to this moment, not the most interesting character, but he's great. I can recognize, there's a lot of history in Superman. And then, I like a lot of his lesser used powers, X-ray vision, that's one of his more used ones. But I love that. That's like a great concept. Make it just see through X-rays, but also through every element of the electromagnetic spectrum. So keep that in mind. But one thing that I don't use enough is his freeze breath. This man has freeze breath. I love any ice character. Ice is just such a great power. He can freeze things just by moving the air to speed through, between his lips. But you got the freeze breath, he's got a lot of different things going on. So Superman's a great character. As I've gotten up there, I've appreciated him more and more. But in fact, he's one of my favorite characters of all time. One of my top 10 fictional characters. Number 6, okay. Now we're getting to the characters that actually kind of emotionally affect me a little bit. These are characters I really like. Professor X. Professor Charles Xavier, the leader and the founder of the X-Men. There wasn't no coming to grips process over time. I always liked Professor X since I was a kid. It didn't take me long to realize that he is legitimately the strongest member of the X-Men, and it's not even close. It's not close at all. You could probably put Jean Grey somewhere similar to him, even though she's an Omega level mutant, and technically Charles Xavier is an Alpha level mutant for some reason. I don't even know if I agree with that. But what separates Charles Xavier from even someone like Jean Grey, not imbued with the Phoenix Force, that's something completely different, is his intelligence. He's a genius. He's an actual genius. In the Marvel Comics Illuminati, also in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, he's on the Illuminati. In the movie, it made it seem like strong characters are on the list. In the comic books, it's just the smartest characters in the Marvel Universe. That's the ticket to get in. So it's debatable, with or without his mental powers, his psychic abilities, if he has the same level of intelligence. Because it's been theorized that he passively gathers information everywhere he is at all time, boosting his already extreme intellect. So who knows? But man's the genius. So even if you have a comparable level of power to him, he's going to be able to figure something out. And he's done it many, many times. Yeah, man, Charles Xavier, obviously just base level, reading thoughts, suggestion, outright hypnosis, freezing people in their tracks as he's done, multiple times in the X-Men movies. He invented Cerebro. So whenever you talk about a character, you use the word invented after the name and put something else in there, you know that you're talking about a high level. He invented Cerebro, which, expands his power to reading and essentially being able to control minds on a global scale. Yeah, man. He uses it to find mutants. That's the real purpose of Cerebro all around the planet. But yeah, it can do a lot more than that, So take that to the bank. Charles Xavier, man, he founded the X-Men. You know what I'm saying? He has a spot on the list. Well deserved. That's number 6. Number 5, top five. We're getting up there. This is, these are heavy hitters, no pun intended. Dr. Bruce Banner, AKA the Incredible Hulk. Incredible Hulk is my number 5 top 10, 5 out of 10 fictional character, period. The Hulk is just dope, man. the Hulk. Whew. When I was a kid, again, I thought he was cool, but like something about it, maybe because I started working out, I don't know, but like I just started liking the Hulk more and more over time. He's awesome. Like Hulk is legit. But then I read comics like Hulk the End, you know what I mean? Where he survives all sorts of crazy circumstances. That's a great comic to read in and of itself. But the Hulk is just, then you got Planet Hulk, World War Hulk. Oh my goodness. It's comedic to say he's just too strong, but that's what it is. Man's is just too strong. Like the gamma radiated powers, completely invulnerable for all intents and purposes. Strength, the way he moves, like what other character literally gets around by jumping multiple, probably hundreds of kilometers at a time? Like there are characters with high levels of strength, similar to the Hulk, but no one does that. That's swag, that's drip, that's the Hulk. Yeah, man, you got multiple characters who owe their whole career to him, their whole existence, so yeah, the Hulk, you can't go wrong. Whenever you see him, I get hype. Even in the movies before certain events, it doesn't even matter. The Hulk is an all-time character and my number 5 favorite fictional character of all time. Number 4, getting up there, steadily moving through the list. Bless you again. Avatar Aang. Aang. We're switching, we were on comics for a minute. I mean, that's how I got my Star Wars and comic books. But yeah, we're switching now to animated television. And to possibly the greatest non-anime animated character of all time, actually, he might be Avatar Aang. Come on, man, it's Aang. It's Aang. Earth, water, fire, air, like the last airbender, bro. Aang is if you go back and watch the cartoon, which you should, if you haven't, then I'm gonna assume you're either like a baby or you like don't even know what TV is. Like it's on that level. If you watch the show, you'll notice that Aang actually never loses a fight. He was only quote unquote defeated once. Once again, these are spoilers. This is a pretty big spoiler, but there are spoilers in this video. Versus Azula down in the cave, which it's heavily implied that he actually died, that he got killed. And Sakura, and I've got Sakura stuck in my head now. And the homegirl, I'll put that in the title. She, saved his life. So literally brought him back to life. But aside from that, encounter, Aang never lost a fight. The entire series. It was always just a question of, where he had to go and, what he had to do when he got there. And there are a lot of reasons for that. Aang is a highly intelligent character, especially on the battlefield. In a fight, scenario, what are you doing to Aang? No one ever really did anything to him. He can always figure a way out. And no one had seen airbending for 100 years. No one. Thought it didn't exist. So every time he uses it, it's like no one knows what to do or how to defend against it. And he used it very well. He's an airbending master as a child. Yeah, this is Aang you're talking about. So, yeah, man, I could go on and on. The whole series is great. Even Legend of Korra is a great series in its own right. It's not bad. Aang he's way out there somewhere. Every episode is a joy to watch, and he is probably the biggest reason for that. Toph is a great character, too. Katara. That's his homegirl's name. Toph's a great character too, but Aang is the strongest character in the show. He's the best character in the show, and he's my number 4 top 10 fictional character, period. Number 3. Okay, obviously these are like, heavy hitters. These are all time, probably, like I said, affected me emotionally at some point in time. These are the creme de la creme. These are the top key. Number 3, all time, top 10 fictional character is none other than All Might. Toshinori Yagi. Yeah, man, much like in my top 10 anime video, my hero is the most recent thing. Definitely, it was on that list and also on this list. But it's such a well-done show and it's so powerful that it catapulted its way to the top. Y'all, if you see my videos, when I start switching my stance, that's when I'm feeling it. So yeah, my hero put itself in the top, in the upper echelon. All Might he's just amazing. As I also said in my top 10 anime video, I consider him a stronger character than the Hulk, and that's saying a lot, because Hulk's real strong. All Might can punch the air and like change the weather currents, like uppercut and make like a cyclone. Not no small cyclone, like altering the cloud structure up in the air. It's All Might. Yeah, there are so many moments in that show, in season 1 that can literally bring someone to tears, just because of the inspiration level. And All Might is just all the way in there, man. Everything's all right because I'm here. That's his like main catchphrase, his main statement. And it's true. If you see All Might, 7'3", probably like 400 pounds of literally pure muscle show up on the field, he's got the dope costume. He's got the smile. He's got the powers, strength, speed, durability. Come on, man, it's All Might. But his statements and his fights, micro spoiler, I'm not gonna get too much into it, but with All For One, obviously, come on, man. United States of Smash? Bro, that's on that Naruto level where I can't even go and watch that right now because, I'll just bust out crying. It's crazy stuff, man. Yeah, All Might is extremely inspirational, a great character, and extremely strong. Very strong. So yeah, just by My Hero, which just came out a few years ago, his existence on that show, in that, timeline, put him in the number 3 on my list. He just climbed over all the rest of them because he's legit. It's All Might. Let's keep it going. Number 2, my number 2 fictional character of all time, Uchiha Itachi. Yeah. Now we're getting to the main lane, the big times, okay? If it weren't for the number 1, which we'll get to in a second, Itachi would be my number 1 with no contention. It's Itachi. We thought he was a villain at first. Then, I remember, I didn't even see it in the anime, I read it in the manga when they revealed that he was like, not just a hero, but like the hero of Konoha, loved his brother with all his heart and soul. Bro. There are a few series that have like legitimate plot twists or legitimate twists, legitimate surprises, and that was one. That was actually one of them. I mean, whoever said they saw that coming, they're like, oh, I knew Itachi was good. Stop lying. You didn't know. So I remember reading that manga and I was like, but it's not like he was just like, a double agent. As time went on and they showed Itachi Shinden, which is what made Naruto my number 1 anime of all time, you realize that this dude is like, he's tuned in. He's like tuned in. He's got the force. Like, he's in the currents, like of the universe. Just legit. And he's also a legitimate good guy. Like, like a sweetheart almost. Like, not to use that term, but a very, very kind individual, like at a fundamental level. It's like, how do you not like him? So you've got all that. Then you've got this man's level of power. Okay? Infamously, the creator of Naruto said, I had to write Itachi out of this show. That's why he fell ill, because he would be able to stop Madora's plan just off top, just with knowledge, not to mention fighting, but with knowledge. So he had to take him out of the show. That's how intelligent of a character Itachi is. He's definitely the smartest character in Naruto. There are other top tier intellect, Madara himself is obviously very intelligent. Shikamaru's dad. A few more are very intelligent characters. Itachi, this man's like looking into the future, but from like a different angle. And there's nothing you can do. So he's got the intellect, and then his powers. His Sharingan is just OP. Man's has Amaterasu, the strongest fire style jutsu, a black flame which can burn anything it touches, including other flames, and he's used it multiple times to that effect. It's a one-shot. If it hits you, it's a one-shot. And it can do it over a wide, vast area just by him looking at it. Doesn't have to weave any seals, nothing. Insane ability. As if that wasn't powerful enough, you've got Tsukuyomi. Without question, one of the strongest abilities in the whole show, and Itachi has it. I mean, the move that was going to end the whole series, the infinite Tsukuyomi, is a variant of the Tsukuyomi. You know what I'm saying? So, this isn't a game. He can, if I get into Tsukuyomi, we'll be here all day, but he can stretch out basically any amount of time to him using it, which can get down to not a nanosecond, but a picosecond. That's like a dot with 12 zeros and a 1. It might be something different, but that's the general thing we're talking about here. 1 times 10 to the negative 12. Looking at you, but can make years, a lifetime, 80, 90 years pass in your reality, and he's done it to multiple individuals. Also, in that reality, he controls all of time and space. This is not for the play, you know what I'm saying? And no one else has this ability. And then of course, Susanoo, the Totsuka blade, can one-shot seal anybody or anything. If it touches you, you're toast. He's used that multiple times. It's Itachi. It's Itachi. Yeah, man, it's way too cool. And plus, he's got the drip, he's got the hair, you know, got the. Come on, man, it's Itachi, bro. It's Itachi. He would be my number one top 10 fictional character if it wasn't for the number one. And it wouldn't even be that close. It's like an exponential curve. As you move up the list, the distance between these gets farther and farther. You know what I'm saying? I love All Might, but Itachi's pretty far above All Might and so on and so forth. But yeah, he would be the number one. But as much as I love Itachi, my number one fictional character of all time, or just period, well-deserved, been so since I was a child, knee-high, all the way till this very day, all the way till this very moment. And I don't see any signs of that changing anytime soon. Anything can happen, technically, but this is almost set in stone. But again, anything can happen, so who knows? But number one favorite character since I found out about him till this day, as I'm 39 years old, is Batman. Batman is my number one fictional character. From any medium, book, movie, television, you know, whatever. And it's not close at all. Again, exponential curve, Itachi is very far above All Might. Like, he's way out there. But as far as he is from All Might, Batman is moving up even higher on the exponential curve. It might even be straight, so it's just way out there. It's like the universe is expanding, so the further stars move from each other, the faster they're moving from each other. So there's no chance of stars ever like catching up to each other, getting close. It's the opposite. The chance like decelerates to zero. That's what we're talking about with Batman. He's just way out there. And well-deserved. Batman, Bruce Wayne. Where do I even start? I mean, let's start with the intellect. This is Batman. He's defeated the Justice League. He's defeated basically any opponent he's gone against, you know, time and time again, just using the power of his mind. You know, if he knows you exist, you're already in trouble. And I would almost say there's a very low chance, nah, it's not even low. It's almost a 0% chance that like you're doing anything to Batman if he knows that you exist. And even if he doesn't, man, like you're toast. Let's start back at the beginning. Batman is the world's greatest detective. That's his actual skill. And you can tell him getting into him, locking eyes with the camera, locking eyes with y'all, the audience. He's the world's greatest detective. That's his like power. If he shows up on a crime scene, like Caleb City has that joke video where like a paper is a millimeter moved and like the detective is able to dang near solve the whole crime. That's what Batman would actually do. He's like, nah, that's all. Sense of smell, hearing, sight. He's technically human, but if he shows up and anything has happened in that area, he will know. He'll know. And he's gonna hunt you down. So he's the world's greatest detective at the highest possible scale. The intellect, the martial arts ability. Batman, he's like the best martial artist in the DC universe. Who's beating Batman in hand-to-hand combat? If you don't have powers, and even if you do, you need to sit down. He knows like what, 127 some odd martial arts styles, like all of them, but he's a master of all of them. I mean, any Batman comic you read, you're gonna get hype. And the thing about Batman is, although he knows all this stuff and he does, he's still coming at it from a different angle than anyone. From like Wildcat or, you know, Lady Shiva or Bronze Tiger or Iron Fist, another OP person. They're fighting. Batman's fighting, but again, he's also on kind of a different dimension. Itachi has that same characteristic as him. He's doing something different and like way out there, and he always does this. Then you've got the suit, the bat suit. No other property did it as well as The Dark Knight, when that suit rose up out of the ground in that crystalline case, and you just saw this pure black, you know, existence of that bat suit. It's something different, and when he puts it on, something happens. It's Batman. Like, yo, my favorite comic of all time, which was actually my favorite book until recently. Few other books have climbed above it, but this was like since I was 16, so until very recently, is The Dark Knight Returns. Go and read that. If you pick it up, you're not gonna put it down until you're done. And it's like a couple hundred pages long. Go pick that up, man. Every single frame, shout out Frank Miller, it's insane. Like, the emotion, the feeling, this otherworldly existence that Batman just has. And it's all in there. And last but not least, because I could go on, you got the gadgets, you got all sorts of stuff. Man's like he's like a legitimate billionaire. So he's got the cash flow, he's ready. He's buying all the gadgets or assembling them himself, inventing, many of them, if not all of them. He's got the Bat computer, the Bat cave. Come on, man, it's Batman. He's just OP. His mind is somewhere else, or other characters' minds just aren't. So he's gonna take you out of the game, and he's gonna do it with gusto, with style. It's Batman, and he's got drip. So yeah, man. Since I was a kid, Batman comic was the first one I ever owned. Batman Nightfall number 437 or whatever it was. It was the one where Bane was breaking his back on the cover. A little bizarre, especially for a kid to have something like that. But don't even worry about that. Batman came back. He healed his back. It's Batman. That's what it's gonna be. But yeah, ever since I was a child, got exposed to comic books, Batman is my favorite character because he's just dope. And that's really all there is to it. So that's it. Those are my top 10 fictional characters. If you were to go back and really watch this video and listen, to what I was saying, you would definitely learn a lot about me just as an individual. So do that in your spare time, if you're up to that. A couple honorable mentions. These are necessary, just to get out there, because I like these characters that much, but the top 10 only has 10 spots. Samus Aran of Metroid fame. Samus is great, man. Samus is just another one of those legitimately OP characters. She's just too strong. If Samus shows up on a planet, just with that suit on, with that Chozo suit, with the gun arm, there's a large chance by the time that she leaves the planet, that planet won't exist anymore, okay? She doesn't roll with the team. She doesn't have a crew with her, so to speak. She's got her in the suit, which is dang near invulnerable, can be upgraded to who knows what extent. And she herself has all sorts of, natural abilities, Chozo-infused DNA, but it's just her. But when she shows up somewhere, there's a large chance that by the time she leaves, that planet is going to be dust. So yeah, man, you can't mess with Samus. She's super strong. I remember when I found out Samus was a girl. That was dope too. Yeah, Samus Aran is a well-deserved honorable mention because just kind of out of the top 10, but one of my favorite characters of all time. And the suit looks dope. She has a great design, so there you go. And the final honorable mention, just a necessary mention for anything like this, Link, the hero of time, the Legend of Zelda. Yeah, man, Link, again, OP. He's got the Triforce of Courage, access to all sorts of weapons. Link's another one of those characters that when you're exposed to him, when you find out about him, in your younger years, he just has that aura of dopeness, and it continues as long as you know about him. He's still dope, He's, great character in Smash. He's a terror in Soul Calibur 2 when he was a guest character, had the rolling bombs. It's Link. Again, great design, the Master Sword, all these OP type things. And incidentally, my favorite video game of all time is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, of any genre. My favorite two genres are fighting and RPG, JRPG specifically. Final Fantasy, easily, I don't even want to get started on Final Fantasy. My favorite game is Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. That game is on something else, but that's another story for another day. Second honorable mention, the hero of time, holder of the Triforce of Courage, Link. And that's it. That's it, that's all I got for y'all. Again, this is a fun list to do because I feel like it lets you know more about me, as a person, as well as talking about quote-unquote nerd culture. That's what we're here to do, right? That's the whole theme of the channel. That's what we're out here doing. So, bless you one more time. Coming up right around the corner, we have Black Panther here they already released all the red carpet stuff, and I'm gonna get on that. Because some of that stuff has spoilers in it, but that's a whole nother story for another day. I might even make a video on that. But yeah, Black Panther is out here in 27th, 14 days. Yeah, literally exactly 2 weeks, 15 days, 31st. I got you on that, be ready for that. Black Adam, that just came out, check out that review. One of my favorite videos to do, super fun, great movie. Yes, it is a great movie, it's DC, and it's a great movie. I highly recommend it. Go see Black Adam, you will love it. And of course, here in just 2 days, not 15 days, 2 days, I have the My Hero Academia review. Episode 5 of Season 6. I know y'all are ready for that. I know I'm ready for that because I don't have to describe too much about My Hero. All I have to let you know is how dope it was. You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't want to do that? So I got you locked down on that. And that's coming up here in just a couple days. And that's it. That's all I got for y'all. You know, My Hero, Flexico City, they got the Dia de los Muertos coming up. It's a lot going on out here. A lot happening, you know. So just feeling the vibe, doing it big. And yes, as I always say, because I genuinely mean it, stay up. Never this way, always this way. Stay up. And until the next one, you know how we do. Peace.